Namaste, peace and love, everybody. Thanks for being here. And I meant PL, not OL, in the chat. Thanks, Triple X, for XXL, I should say, for reminding me of 1 Corinthians 13. Hi, Sachi. I'd like to welcome everyone here this morning. I'm Peter Panagore, MDiv, and we're here to explore another gem of mystical wisdom today. And this time we're delving into the powerful teaching of Brother Lawrence, or Frere Lawrence, or Brother Lawrence. And here it is. We ought not to be wary. A mispronunciation. We ought not to be weary of doing little things for the love of the divine, who regards not the greatness of the work, but the love with which it is performed. Brother Lawrence was a Carmelite lay brother. He was raised in poverty. He fought in Europe's 30-year war in the 1600s. He died in, I think it was 1691, I think it was. He served as a footman for a noble person after the war, after he left the war because he got wounded. And at 26 years old, he joined a monastery, a Carmelite monastery, where he, because he was uneducated, worked in the kitchen. And eventually, because his leg troubled him, he made sandals. Very low-level brother in terms of the hierarchy. But I'm going to repeat what he said. He said, we ought not to be weary of doing little things for the love of God, who regards not the greatness of the work, but the love with which it is performed. This is profound simplicity. Brother Lawrence reminds us that in our spiritual journey, the grandeur, the great deed, the big act, romantic act, if you want to think of it that way, the big deed of grandeur isn't what is essential. It's the love we infuse into our actions that matter most. My grandmother used to say when she made bread, I'm putting my secret ingredient of love into it, and she was, because she was making it for us. Even the smallest act done with love resonates with divine consciousness. You know, in 1 Corinthians, this is a rewriting of it, I guess you could say. If I give all I own to the poor and give my life over to hardship so that I may boast of my good work, but I don't have love, I gain nothing, because my apparently selfless action actually disguises selfishness, and it's for my own gain, my own social gain. The greatest act without love might benefit those who are poor, and that's super important. But if it's done with selfishness, it doesn't gain anything for the person who is doing the giving. And this, my friends, is a reminder of mindfulness in its most profound form as we live in our lives. And each task we perform, no matter how seemingly mundane, becomes a sacred act of love and devotion, whether it's washing dishes or helping a neighbor. Every action offers an opportunity for a deeper connection with the divine and an expression of the divine, and which means that you gain a treasure of love. And Brother Lawrence's wisdom echoes that of so many mystics. They guide us towards recognizing the light in all things, in all people, in ourselves, transforming each moment of action done in love into an act of devotion. It's a form of practicing God's presence in our lives in the here and now, a way of transforming our perception of the world around us into a sacred landscape. Namaste, namaste, namaste. I see the light of God inside of you. Namaste, namaste. And then we become a channel of light and peace into the world. Make me a channel of your peace, said St. Francis of Assisi. In essence, Brother Lawrence is teaching us a key mystical insight. It's not about the external scale or societal impact of our actions. What holds spiritual weight is the love and consciousness we infuse into each act through the infusion of bringing ourselves into the presence of the divine, which creates a capacity inside ourselves to rest in this place in our daily lives. And so, as we aim to practice, let's remember this principle that when we bring love to the world, we bring God to the world. And in doing so, we elevate even the most mundane tasks and mundane life into acts of divine love. Every moment is a chance for this deeper connection of love, especially in interaction with other people. And yes, we need to give to the poor. And yes, we need to house the homeless, etc., because we are a just people. And that justice arises from the interior of ourselves, from the love that is the connection to the divine that expresses into the world. And it doesn't have to be grand, it can be little tiny. We just need to recognize it and embrace it and give it away. Thanks for listening to that this morning. Hi, Janet. Deb Casey in the Cayman Islands. Good morning. Hi, Chris. Sachi, I know you're over there in Amsterdam. And Susie in Colorado. Another trip to the library. Yes, the book, Brother Lawrence, is, let's see, what's Wendy say here? Closer than a brother. She's had it since college. And practicing the presence of God. How to practice the presence of God in daily life. Now, Brother Lawrence was illiterate, and the abbot so recognized his deep wisdom once you got past the roughness of his exterior and his language. I guess he was a pretty funny guy. Once you got past all of that, you could hear and see the deep wisdom that he had cultivated through living this practice of the presence of God in his interior so that he brought it to his exterior. His mindfulness in washing pots, his mindfulness in making sandals, his mindfulness when in the presence of the many, many people who came to him to plumb the depths of his wisdom for the betterment of their lives, all come from the singular source. This namaste, I see the divine in you because I have it in me, because I see it in myself. So let's continue our cultivation of this. If you're just joining us this morning, this is basically a meditation group that is live. It's a community group. And we understand that when Jesus talked about when two or three are gathered, the I am, the oneness is there so that there's a multiplication. Where two are gathered, it's like having three, and where three are gathered, it's like having four. It is this multiplication of the presence of the divine that we experience in the practice of meditation together. And it can go through a microphone and a lens because this is a timeless space that we're entering into individually and collectively. Now, we've been practicing the Kriya, some forms of Kriya yoga, and some of that stuff we're doing in our chair where we compress really hard and ride our breath up, compress those pelvic muscles and the abdomen and the lower spine and drive that prana upward. Today, let's do a little relaxation. I'm going to start out with this hard breath, and then I'm going to shift from that hard driving breath up to a softer compression of those muscles, riding up my spine to my brow or to my crown. And then relaxing, inhaling and repeating. And eventually I'll move from these harder forms into a very soft breath. And if your mind wanders, as always, use your chant, your mantra, your prayer, over and over and over again and ride it on your breath like a butterfly or a dragonfly. You don't want to grasp this. You want to practice this resting in it. And if your mind is wandering, come back to your prayer, come back to your breath. And if meditation's not working for you, it's because you're actually not meditating. Because when a person is actually in meditation, there is no self to be bored. So come back to your breath, come back to your prayer, repeat, 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 ride. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to set a timer. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes starting now.
Hi, you XXL in the UK. All right. Thanks for everybody being here this morning. And for all of the people who are here on tape, because timelessness allows this practice to transcend time and space. Now, I like to practice with a mask on and knock my mic around when I can, because it cuts down on the light. I've got these huge bright lights, and this just helps me cut out one more sense, because I'm trying to limit my sensory intake. Silence helps, a dark room helps, a comfortable chair, feet flat on the floor. Let's begin 3 ohms and then dropping into that Kriya breath, compressing our muscles. In breath, hold, compress, exhale. Release. Let your lungs fill and oxygenate and pause. Compress. Peace and love, everyone.